Hello, my name is Dr. Anna Maria Michalczak. I'm the supervising physician for the Mercy Blue Room program. I'm also an internist and integrative physician, and I'm the primary care provider for Judy. Judy in December of 2018 started to have significant nausea symptoms and wasn't feeling quite right. She had an episode then later in March where she actually started bleeding into her urine, so she had hematuria, and went to an urgent care clinic where thankfully they did blood work and they found that she was in acute kidney failure. They sent her to the hospital, at which time her blood pressure was 253 over 140, so it was a complete emergency. And she previously really had no medical history and her kidneys had failed. So the hospital where she was at wasn't able to quite manage the complexity of her condition. She was transferred to a larger hospital, and then dialysis, hemodialysis was started.
I was throwing up a bit and just didn't feel good. I thought it was emotional. Well, I went to the Genesis retreat, and after the Genesis retreat in March, I just never recovered. And I started getting blood in my urine. So I thought, I better go to a doctor. So I went, and they couldn't even register a blood pressure on me. And then my friend Marisha came with me, and she insisted that they do a blood test and a urine test on me. And the next day I got a call, and the doctor said, "Get yourself to the hospital right away, your kidneys are failing." So I went, and my blood pressure was like 259 over 140 or something. It was like they pumped me through of blood pressure meds. I had IVs, and then they saw that I was really swollen in my kidneys, and they gave me steroids and everything. But they thought they ended up putting me in Good Samaritan, to make a long story short, because they thought I had a particular issue, but I didn't. My kidneys are, the number I'll just give is that for the clearance rate, it's between 75 and 115. That's like the filtration rate. Mine was 8. So I made a commitment, and I had to do a lot of self-correcting because I had a lot of people around me that were like, this is not good. So, but as soon as I made that commitment, the quantum field, and it opened up, because I started to notice all the doctors that were coming in had different opinions. They all were different, and I realized that none of them were real. They were real to them, but they didn't have to be real for me. And then one said I had acute kidney injury and that there was a chance of recovery. So I decided that's what I'm going to do. So there was a doctor who came in, and he said that my organs could be affected because my creatinine was very high, other organs, and that my kidney function was low at that time. So that's where I decided to bide my time while I was focusing to do dialysis, because I didn't want it to affect my other organs while I'm trying to heal myself. So I saw it as a temporary solution.
During that journey, she always had in her mind that she would be able to reverse this. So she was discharged from the hospital and immediately started at the Mercy Blue Room program, came twice a week, and continued on hemodialysis. At that point, her filtration rate was 8. Her creatinine, which is a kidney function marker, was between 5 and 6. Normal is about 0.8 to 1.5, let's say, for someone her size and her age. So the kidneys had substantial difficulties. And to undergo hemodialysis is a tremendously stressful thing on the body. A lot of people suffer with that, to be on this machine for 3 hours. So what Judy did was she would do the blue rooms before she went to dialysis. And everybody in the dialysis center was talking about how fabulous she was doing, how her blood pressure wasn't spiking, there wasn't having any crisis, and they were easily able to hemodialyze her. And Judy attributes this really wonderful feature to her treatment with the Blue Room.
I did started my dialysis. I started the Blue Room right after, and immediately, as soon as I got out of the hospital, it was April 2019. I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. They noticed right away when I would do dialysis how well I handled it, how well I coped. It was like I was doing the hemodialysis, which is like blood, and that's very difficult on the body. And they noticed how well I coped with it, and it's very, very expensive, and so when I'd go to the Blue Room, I just surrender, and just a lot of things started to work out.
So she continued on hemodialysis for about 6 months. She's had tremendous stress throughout all of this time. If you imagine, she had no medical insurance when she got ill. Her dialysis costs in the ballpark of $60,000 a month. You know, all of these stressors that were also weighing on her, plus, you know, she was wondering if she ever was gonna, you know, be able to function again without hemodialysis. And so she would tell me how the Blue Room was helping her detach enough from the anxiety that she was able to manifest all of these miracles. She manifested a grant to get her dialysis paid for. She manifested health insurance. All of her debt was forgiven. So all of these miracles kept happening on this journey. And she said, you know, I just go into the Blue Room, I just relax, I focus, and I just say, take care of me. And that's exactly what happened. So the emotional and spiritual support that she was able to gain from these sessions was tremendous.
Today I got the call from my doctor just before I came. I've been off dialysis for 2 weeks, but he's taken me totally off now. And my GFR's at 21, so I've improved, and I'm going higher. You know, that's my goal, is to get totally well, but I don't need to be on dialysis. I was like what was on called end-stage renal failure, end-stage renal disease. I don't have that anymore. I'm at stage 4, so, and I can continue moving up. So I'm very, very happy.